Well, looks like I'm here on time. And if that's the case, why are you late? Is my question. Sorry guys, my head's been itching all day. So, anyways, so it's all for today's weaknesses, guys. We have a lot going on. I'm on Thanksgiving break. I'm recording all these animated Wednesdays and gameplays as I can, and then I put them all in my editing inventory, and then I pick them out on a certain day that's on the top, and then I edit them, get the thumbnail done, then upload it to YouTube. But other than that, oh, excuse me, sorry, I thought I had sneezed. Whew. And if you guys said bless you before I sneezed, why would you do that? What is wrong with you? Don't do it again. Oh, you asked me or what? I don't like the way how you asked me that. I promise you, all these shots do not discriminate. You will get this AR next to your brain. Anyways, guys, that's all for today's weaknesses. Guys, today we are doing Animated Wednesdays. Part 4, 5, and 6 are done. I just need to get part 7. Do not say it in my comments, please. I do not like the trend. It was never funny to begin with. And I hate Gen Alpha Slime. So, we need to get these done, and then the gameplay's done. And also, I'm probably going to introduce a game we haven't ever played, but I wanted to introduce it to y'all. I just never had the time to do it. Anyways, Animated Wednesday is the show where every Wednesday we all get together, we watch weird animations, creepy animations, or spooky animations. And I had something on my nose the whole time. But other than that, yeah, guys, we got a whole lot of stuff to do. Anyways, back to the intro. Animated Wednesday is a series where every Wednesday we all get together. We gather around the phone, the computer, the TV, or the laptop. So, if you guys have a pet, make sure you guys are hugging it, petting it, squeezing it tight. If you got siblings or if you're in a relationship, mothers, brothers, please keep each other accountable. We laugh, we vibe. And also, if I get a video sent in by you guys, in the comments of this video, you guys will get a Mike, really? Couldn't help it, huh? You couldn't help it, huh? Get out of my office. Sorry. Anyways, yes. What Mike said, not Mark. Sorry, I work with a Mike and a Mark. What Mike said, yeah, you get a shout out in the next video. So, Jordan, cue the first video intro. This first video is called 8 Creepy Stalker Horror Films. We're now on to chapters, I think.
During the weekends, I, along with my sister and friend, usually went to town around 20 minutes away to go out and eat. It was a busy area.
Oh wait, no, it's
so there were many people on the streets asking for
chapters.
money. After a lot of fizzy drinks, we were walking to the nearest restroom, and my friend accidentally kicked over one of the man's pocket money, and it all went under the young guy's car. The man was still in his car, so luckily she could ask him to move so she could collect the money back. She knocked on his window and asked politely for him to move. He simply stared at her for a second and replied, "All right, young lady." What? With an extremely large grin on his face.
Hey, don't you dare say that to my sister. Because you will get 12 shots in your young man head. This is exactly what you'll get.
At the time, my sister and I could tell something was up and that man was fishy. However, there wasn't much we could do to prove it. He reversed the car ever so slightly. My friend and I went over to pick up this man's money, and he was waiting angrily. My sister, however, refused to help collect the money. And that seemed very out of character for her, and I knew something was up. She proceeded to watch us pick up the money until she stormed over to the man's car parked elsewhere. The man turned on his car and drove away as fast as he could. My sister began yelling different slurs at him. She tells us that the man was taking photos of us from his car while we were leaving.
Police! 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 Help! Police! Help! Police! Help! Help! Police! Help! Watch the closing doors, please.
Leading over to collect the money. As there was not much we could do, we just continued to complain about the man and how disgusting it was. After this encounter, we realized we started seeing the same white car around us. But we didn't think too much of it and made jokes that it was the creepy guy and he was coming to get us. About a week later, when all three of us returned to town to go to McDonald's, we saw the same homeless man outside, and he seemed to have changed places. As we walked past him, the man then whispered,
McDonald's?
"Pray for you, young girl," and tapped my friend's leg. We all stopped, scared and not sure what to do. But my sister had enough and asked him what he meant by that. He refused to respond, so we continued walking. Later the next evening, I received a FaceTime from my friend, and she seemed pretty shaken up, and she swears there's a person's silhouette in her back garden. I told her to show me, and from what I could see, there was. So my sister and I headed straight to her place and told her to lock the doors. We grouped up in her living room and debated on whether to call the police. We decided to stay with her for the night, just in case. As we all woke up in the morning and went outside before heading to school, we saw multiple sticky notes stuck to my friend's fence. It said simple compliments like beautiful and gorgeous, but the ones further down said more creepy things like soft skin.
Ew.
And then we read yellow polka dots. Strangely enough, my friend always had a liking for yellow polka dots. We asked her whether she maybe had a mad ex-boyfriend, but she claimed she hadn't been with someone for 2 years. We were all scared and confused until my sister brought up considering the drastic increase in that white car and that homeless man saying that to us in town. It could be that creepy man who took photos of us that day, and he may have seen her underwear. We took down the sticky notes after taking a photo of it just in case. I didn't see my friend in school for the next 5 days. I tried visiting and she let me in and locked the door. All the blinds were shut and her family still weren't back from their vacation. My friend explains how this man returned during the night to put sticky notes on her fence once again, spelling polka dots. I told her to call the police, but she refused. The next day, I convinced her to come along with me to talk to the homeless man and maybe we could find some answers. And luckily, he was still there. We asked him over and over to explain what he said last time or tell us if he knows about the man in the white car. But he wouldn't say anything. My sister stood at the other side of the road to keep watch. Suddenly, the man in the white car creeps up behind us, and my sister came running over and grabbed both of his arms and restrained them behind his back as if she was some kind of police officer. She told the man that she's not afraid to report him to the police and told him to get out of sight and never to disturb us again. The man was able to escape from her hold and got into his car quickly and drove away. We went over to the homeless man, who seemed not only scared but guilty. We asked whether he knew that was going to happen, and he was surprisingly honest. The man said he was approached a few weeks ago by him, and said if he could help him lure in my friend, he'd pay him $600 in cash. So the homeless man agreed and got the money. He then said the man called himself Adam J. My friend seemed very shocked about that name. We asked what was going on, and she said Adam J was a kid back in school who kept trying to flirt with her after she rejected him. But that man looked nothing like him. My
Rejection is crazy, bruh. Not even I would do something stupid like this if I ever got rejected. I haven't been with anybody for 6 months. I don't believe in love no more.
sister then let the homeless man off with a warning, and we all went back home. Truth is, we never heard whether it was that Adam J. He just vanished in that white car, and we never saw him.
Well, guys, this shows you, be careful of what you're doing. Now, this next one is called Field Trip, a Magic School Bus cartoon. Meet Canyon. Why are you messing with all of our childhoods?
Because I get it, you're demented, that's all. Demented.
All right, children, gather round. Today we're going to go inside of a beehive or, I don't know, a flower or something.
Miss Frizzle, I don't want to learn about that stuff. I want to learn about wet. Wop, wop, wop.
Oh, God, no. You all know I hate that song so much.
Miss Frizzle, if I don't find out what wet and gushy means, I'll go crazy. I'll do something bad. Something I might regret. Probably to Arnold.
Oh, geez. Come on, guys. This is all so crude.
Wait, so you're telling me does it mean a cat that's been out in the rain?
Carlos! No.
Okay, why are they so mean to Arnold? And Carlos... I handed it to him. That was kind of funny.
We have a set curriculum to abide by, children. Sorry, but the answer is no. It's my one rule. Don't break the curriculum.
You know what? Miss Frizzle.
Yeah, you're a Frizzle, a real big cunt.
Fuck you, Miss Frizzle, and that reptile you always have on your shoulder, you dumb. We want WAP. We want.
Bro, do you know how much censoring I have to do?
WAP. We want WAP.
You children want to disobey my curriculum and learn about old Miss Frizzle's sandbox, huh?
Yeah!
All right, children, fine. You've twisted my arm. Hop in the bus and let's get to learning.
I'm censoring this whole thing.
Whoa, This place is cold and stinky.
Yeah. And it looks like my old catcher's mitt. Worn and used. Where's the macaroni in a pot?
Guys, you gotta come look at this. Are these Miss Frizzle's old students?
I told you children to stick to my curriculum, but you just had to break my one rule.
Oh no! The gate's beginning to close! We're all gonna die!
You children disobeyed my curriculum. Now you shall be trapped forever!
Man, I should have brought my nightlight.
Carlos! I said certified freak 7 days a week. Wet and gushy.
Make my field trips neat. I'm sorry.
Good Lord.
I never thought I'd have to censor so much stuff on my channel, but that I will never. I will never, twist my arm around again. Okay, this next one is called School Lockdown Story 2, animated by Llama Arts. School Lockdown. I didn't even know we were going into schools trauma now.
I'm 22 years old, fresh out of college, and I recently got a job at my old high school as a sort of computer intern in the school basement. The basement of the school is very messy and disorganized, but there is a small 3-person office that's actually very nice down there. It has 3 nice big desks, 2 mini fridges, a flat screen TV mounted on the wall, and oh so satisfying air conditioning, a luxury the students and teachers cannot enjoy in the school. And of course all the school servers and other computery stuff. I got the job because 3 of my old computer teachers flat out adored me. I could actually consider them as real friends, not just teacher figures, so they all helped tremendously in landing me this job. It's been great, until something that happened a few weeks ago.
What happened?
My 2 co-workers that shared the office with me, Dave and Gary, weren't in the office at the time. They were upstairs working on papers or whatever. I was eating my sandwich during my lunch break when I got a phone call from one of the women in the front office telling me the school was on lockdown and that somebody, possibly armed, had entered the school. There wasn't much that I could do other than turn off the lights because, surprisingly, as nice as this little office was, it didn't have an actual door, just a big opening, and the door to the whole basement didn't even have a working lock. For my own safety, I did turn off all the lights in the office and my computer screen. I kept my phone on the desk, texting both Gary and Dave, but they wouldn't respond. I sat down there in the dark, playing games on my phone for like 20 minutes.
Oh!
Did school lockdowns teach this fool nothing?
Waiting for the call from up front to tell me to resume working. I had no idea what was happening. I couldn't hear what was going on upstairs from down here.
Bro, watch. This is how it's gonna play out. Oh yeah, I'm just playing games on my phone. Don't move. Hold on. Don't move. Alright, listen. You're gonna come with me downstairs. And then next thing you know, me and you are both gonna rob a bank. And then afterwards, you wanna go to Cane's? Yeah, does Cane's sound good to you? Alright, let's go. Oh, that's not something funny, but
but I was not allowed to make any calls until I was informed that the lockdown was over. Then the noisy basement door opened. As the creaking echoed across the basement and into my office, I sat up from my seat, wondering if I should call out Gary or Dave.
No!
I was eager to get some info from them. Someone then came running down the stairs, and their footsteps were approaching my office. I pushed away my chair and crawled under my desk. Somebody entered the office, but did not turn on the lights. There was just silence. I can't even describe the fear I was experiencing. I felt like if I made one sudden noise, I'd be a dead man. Suddenly, my phone dinged as I got a text message.
Bruh.
I felt my entire world shrivel up and die at that one moment as I clenched my teeth in fear. Footsteps suddenly moved closer to me until I finally dove out from under the desk in capitulation, begging whoever it was not to kill me.
What?
And just then, someone grabbed my arm and pulled me up. It was some guy in a red plaid button-up, jeans, and a reddish-black cap.
who are
He
you?
told me, "It's okay, I'm just down here hiding with you."
Stop the cap.
"What's going on up there?" I whispered to him. He kind of ignored my question and asked me if there's an exit down here. I told him, yeah, around that way. Before he could do anything else, I asked him, "Who are you?" There was a brief moment of silence. Before he started explaining, he was coming in to pick up his son when a teacher told him to hide. After his explanation, I checked my phone and saw the text I received was from Dave. It said, "Dude, this is crazy. Some guy with a gun shot Mr. Buckley. He's wearing a red shirt and a hat. Whatever you do, don't come upstairs." I was about to reread that text out loud to the man until I realized. I looked up and felt my stomach sink.
Yeah, he got the gun.
The man seemed to catch on to my suspicious stare. Panicking, all I could think to do was to run for the upstairs. A gunshot echoed through the basement, and I could hear the bullet ricochet off something metal in the darkness. But thank God the bullet missed me, and I made it upstairs. Fortunately, police were waiting at all exits, including the basement exit, and caught the man the second he opened the door. More good news, our teacher Mr. Buckley survived the gunshot. It was later determined that the man and Mr. Buckley had some beef for whatever reason, but that was never revealed. All we know is that Mr. Buckley couldn't have done anything that would have warranted this kind of reaction. And I know that the sound of that gunshot will forever echo in my mind.
So they gonna end it with this man shooting him behind the head? Are you serious? This ain't Abraham Lincoln. Okay, so this next one is called 3 School Lockdown Horror Stories Animated Compilation of March 2021. And this is somebody new. This channel is called Dr. No Sleep. So if you're not ready to sleep, I suggest you click off this video.
I have no further questions.
Dr. Nicely.
The demon
He's in
from...
lockdown. Rumor has it that Alexis is on a rampage, and I know why. This thing, it has taken over Alexis's body. She has no control over herself. Alexis, she is not capable of this. She is the sweetest girl. I need to put an end to this before she hurts more people. It was the first day of my sophomore year in high school. Most of my class remained the same, for the exception.
Off the top, why was we popping off like that with the alarm, with the fire alarms going on? Nope, nope, nope. And everybody's screaming and running through the hallways, and then this chick holding a knife on a rampage, and this man saying he has to stop her before she hurts more people. Why was we popping off like that?
Of a few transfer students. While walking to my locker, one student in particular caught my attention. She was stunning. Beautiful blonde hair, blue eyes, basically everything I'd imagine in my dream girl. She looked a bit on the older side, so I thought she had to be a junior or senior. I tried to refocus on the task at hand. I grabbed my books and headed to my next class, which was photography. It was in one of those computer labs with computers next to each other. To my surprise, the beautiful girl was in the photography class with me. It was a small class with only 12 of us.
Make your move, sonny boy!
I only knew one guy out of the whole class. Since the class was an elective, it also had juniors and seniors in it that I didn't recognize. The teacher had us all stand up in front of the class and do the usual icebreaker routine. One by one, the teacher asked us our names, where we were from, and one cool fact about us. I was the second to last to introduce myself. My name is Dylan.
Second to last? I'm sorry I'm pausing it so much this Animated Wednesday, but second to last? Are you serious?
Freeze. I am from Michigan. I can play.
Oh yeah, and this is called The Demon from Within. Okay.
the piano.
Last time I pause.
The last in line was the stunning girl. She introduced herself.
My name is Alexis. I am originally from the United Kingdom and moved to North Carolina. My fun fact is that my family moved out of North Carolina because of a haunted house.
Everyone in the class started laughing. Even the teacher couldn't contain himself. The teacher said, "Wow, that's the best one I've heard all day." The weird thing was Alexis looked dead serious. Before Alexis could interrupt him, the teacher started talking. "Okay, class, take your seats. Since this is a small class, you can sit where you'd like." Alexis took her seat across the classroom. I followed in close pursuit. I had to know if she was just joking about the whole haunted house thing. And of course, I was really attracted to her. After taking our seats, the teacher instructed us to log into the...
Make your move, Captain, before Jeff's take... Make your move, Captain, before Jeff takes it from you.
computers and into our school email. He announced, "Click on your class, go to assignments, and click the top one. You will be given a list of photos and you need to make notes about what is wrong with each one. There is no right or wrong answer, and this will not be graded. Feel free to work with a partner next to you."
Hey!
I finally had the chance to talk to Alexis. "Hey, I'm Dylan."
Well, yeah, dummy. You said your name to the whole class in the introduction.
"Well, if you're so good, what was my fun fact?"
Well, you can play the piano. How good you can play remains to be seen.
The piano? For real, Dylan?
Maybe I can show you sometime.
That would be great, actually.
A date it is then. Changing topics, I wanted to ask you in all seriousness.
Yep, y'all saw this coming. I'm getting out. I'm retiring. I'm done.
Was your house really haunted?
Yes, it was. We moved into this, really old house in North Carolina when we first got to the States. It just had that, heavy feeling the moment you stepped in. At night, I would hear things move around and demonic voices. My parents heard them too. One night, I was asleep in my bed. Something jolted me awake, hovering above me. It was the scariest thing I ever saw in my life. I blinked and it was gone. My parents had similar experiences. Finally, we couldn't take it anymore and sold the house. Now I'm here.
Wow, that is quite the story. Before I could ask Alexis more stories, the teacher interrupted. "Okay, class, save your work. We are going out into the courtyard to take some pictures. I assume most of you have phones with cameras. Those that don't, group up with someone that does." We went outside the classroom into the courtyard. The teacher continued. "Okay, now with your partner or group, each take 5 different photos of each other. Please change up the camera angles and poses. This is just a test run. The school will issue us the good cameras tomorrow." The class started socializing and taking photos. I took out my phone. "Okay, Alexis, smile," I said. I held up the phone and snapped the photo. I glanced down at the photo. My heart fell to the floor.
I was just about to call it. Yep!
Alexis was a demonic-looking child. its long jet black hair covering most of its face.
Is everything all right?
Yeah, everything is totally fine. You know what? The sun washed out the whole photo. Let's take a new one. I quickly deleted the photo and held my phone up once again to take another photo. I snapped the next photo. I held my breath as I glanced back down at my phone. The demon child was there again, this time closer to Alexis, right up against her. This has to be some sick joke, I thought to myself. This can't be real. She must have messed with my phone.
Is there something wrong?
No, my phone is just glitching a bit. Let me reset it. I quickly deleted the photo and restarted my phone. Okay, let's try this again, I said. I picked up the phone again, hesitant to even take the picture. I pointed the phone at Alexis. Before snapping the photo, I glanced at the screen. Nothing was there. I took the photo. As soon as I took the photo, Alexis coughed. I ran over to her. "Are you okay?" I asked. She slowly looked up at me and I felt my bones shiver. It felt as if there was a demonic presence right in front of me.
Get out. Leave me alone.
All of a sudden, Alexis' head went limp to one side and raised again.
Hey, what just happened? I feel really lightheaded.
I think you need to get some water and sit down. The teacher finally said, "All right, students, time to get your things and move on to your next period." We went back inside the classroom. I gave Alexis my water bottle. She seemed completely fine now. The whole situation freaked me out. I arrived at my next class. I wanted to erase that bizarre situation out of my mind. What the hell happened back there? It hit me like a ton of bricks, the last photo. I never looked at the last photo. I pulled my phone out of my pocket. I went to my Photos app. I tapped on the photo. It was even worse than before. The demon child looked like she was inside Alexis, like a spirit going inside of a body. Is this even real life? Before I could even think, an announcement was made over the PA system.
Lockdown, lockdown, code black, code black.
The teacher, Mr. Blackwell, immediately locked.
And y'all know what code black means. If you do, yes, I do too. Do not explain it to me. I know exactly what code black means. Code black means that there's somebody either armed and dangerous or somebody's on a rampage.
The classroom door. He told us to hide under our desks. Most of the students did not take it seriously. Some even had their smartphones out playing games. All of a sudden, a loud yell came from outside the door. "Help! Somebody help me!" Mr. Blackwell peeked out the door. His face lost all color. He whispered under his breath, "Oh, my God." I couldn't help myself. I got up from under my desk and approached the door. Mr. Blackwell yelled, "Get back under the desk. What do you think you're doing?" I ignored him and looked out the glass window of the door. In the hallway was Alexis. Her back was turned to me. She was holding onto a bloody kitchen knife. As if sensing my presence, she slowly turned around to face me. She barely looked like her former self, and looked more like the devil child in the pictures. On the ground was the principal, Mr. White. Alexis had these crazed eyes and a devilish smile. I had this intense feeling that I needed to stop this. I unlocked the door and pointed at Alexis. I tackled her. The knife flew out of her hands. The injured principal got up and ran away. "Alexis, snap out of it!" I yelled.
I need to kill.
"Alexis, you are not a killer. You need to fight whatever is inside of you." For a brief second, Alexis seemed to relax and talk normal.
Where am I? Oh my gosh. Why is there blood all over my hands?
"Alexis, you need to listen to me. There is an entity inside of you. You need to fight it with all your power and strength."
What have I done? Get out of my body, whatever you are!
All of a sudden, Alexis closed her eyes and passed out. The police came and I told them everything. I still had the last picture I took of her with the demon child, but they weren't interested. Alexis was admitted to a mental health facility, and that was the last I heard about it. The school brushed everything under the rug, and most students never knew what actually happened that day. Most students never knew what actually happened that day.
Y'all ready for story number 2? Psychologically insane. That'll be next Wednesday, so just be ready. Today's video is called Two Little Caesars Horror Story animated. And why is it halfway? Remember last week with the whole Brad guy and him army crawling on the floor and him with all the, like, that man just continued to eat for hours and eat and eat. I'm not gonna lie to you, if it were me, I'd want a cheeseburger.
I'm a 25-year-old petite woman working in an advertising agency.
If you are a woman, then why do you narrate as a man?
My office is in a secluded area outside the city. It was a recently built department, hence the number of employees is not more than 10 to 12 people. I shifted for this job. The work pressure was so high sometimes that most nights a group of us had to stay back for projects. Hence my regular dinner was takeout foods. I am a smoker in my non-smoking group, so I often prefer...
For real? We starting a video popping off about you smoking? Kids, do not smoke or vape. Because if you do, your lungs are going to end up like cancer sticks.
Walking to the Little Caesars pizza place while taking a smoke break. Most of the time I went alone because I like their pizzas. So it was one Friday night and I was still working late. We were a group of 3 and everyone was trying to finish quickly so that they could jump into the weekend. After an hour, I finished my work, but my colleagues were still stuck. We were all planning to leave at once, so I decided to wait for them. While they worked, I went out for my usual break. The Little Caesars shop was at the end of the road. There weren't many cars that night. I crossed the street and lit my cigarette. I was walking on the footpath when a car came from my direction and flashed its bright headlights on the opposite side of the road. A man, about 40, 50 years old, was seen standing there.
Well, it looks like this man done had himself a long night.
Was dressed in a very poor way. His khaki trousers were muddy and torn in places. He was too lean and looked pretty pathetic. There was no expression on his long, pointy face. He was just standing there, watching me. I turned my head away, feeling extremely uncomfortable, and increased my pace. I didn't look back and went straight inside the pizza store. I was about to go in when that man yelled from the back, "Pizza! Pizza!" I turned back in shock and saw he was still standing at the same spot and watching me. I rushed inside and closed the door of the shop. An old woman was sitting at the counter wearing a t-shirt of the...
The animator who made this... Why do them pizza boxes look like books? Why do them sodas do not have full tags? Why does the cash register only have one plug? Well, the back of the cash registration of, like, you know. What, you think I was going to roast the character? We live in this society a lot. People are different. What, you think I was going to roast her?
franchise. She was in her late 50s and wearing too much makeup to look young. Her wrinkled face still couldn't hide the fact that she was about my grandma's age. I was a bit surprised because I'd never seen her before. Generally, a guy named Simon always attended the night shift, and I'm pretty familiar with him. What would you like to order? Yes, of course. I embarrassingly walked up to her and started to look at the menu above the counter. I'll have one small pepperoni pizza and a Sprite. Very well. Take your seat. I'll bring it to you. I sat on the corner table right beside the big glass wall. I could see the road outside. There was a lamppost on the opposite foot. It was constantly blinking annoyingly. I was trying to look closely, searching for that creepy man. Pizza, pizza. What the hell? I'm sorry. I didn't mean to scare you. The guy you were looking for is a homeless madman. He often walks these streets late nights and screams pizza whenever a customer enters the shop. He's not harmful, just a bit crazy. I see. Here's your order. Enjoy your food. She left the tray in front of me. The pizza slices were unevenly cut. She went back to her seat and I grabbed the biggest slice to eat. I gave a big bite. I was just enjoying chewing the soft bread soaked in sauce and cheese when I felt...
Tell me why that looks like paper with some crayons on it with a little bit of Play-Doh and dry erase markers. What you think I was gonna say?
Something stringy in my mouth. Something was rolled around my tongue. I grabbed it and pulled it out from my mouth. It was a curly strand of hair. My organs whirled in disgust inside my stomach, and I coughed out everything on the plate. The hair seemed highly similar to the old woman's hair. She looked at me like I was rude, coughing out the food. I could have screamed at her for providing a pizza with her hair as toppings on it, but I am not that confrontational by nature. I got my together and was deciding to leave when I heard footsteps outside. I looked at the glass and freaked out immediately. That crazy man was staring at me through the glass. His entire body was leaned over the glass, making his facial features look even more disturbing than before. He remained like that for some time, then started walking away. There's no way I'm going out while that man is out there. I couldn't eat the pizza after what I discovered, so I thought to call my colleagues to see if they were done by now. I planned to wait here and tell them to come meet me so that I didn't have to walk back to the office. I took out my cell phone and called them. Luckily, they were ready to leave as well. I told them to meet me at the Little Caesars pizza shop and noticed the lady at the counter watching me with a weird smile. Once I disconnected the call, she said, "You're such a scaredy cat." I didn't want to answer her back because I had to wait for a few minutes more, and I wanted to do that without any trouble. I couldn't eat the pizza, so I grabbed the Sprite to take a few sips. But before I could open the bottle, the seal was already broken. No sooner did I open the bottle, a foul smell of urine choked the air inside the restaurant. I got up and started vomiting on the floor. Hey! You were ruining the place! Stop it!" The old woman started yelling at me. She rushed towards me and pushed me back while I was feeling sick. I couldn't take it anymore. I somehow kept my balance and then started shouting at her. "What the is wrong with you? You gave me urine to drink? Are you insane?" "What? Don't lie. I know girls like you, trying to blame the employee for everything. Just pay the bill and get out of here." I took out a $10 bill and threw it at her while rushing towards the exit. I was walking past the counter when I saw someone lying on the floor behind the counter. I didn't fail to recognize the person on the floor in a fraction of a second. It was Simon, no doubt. His head was hurt badly, and there was blood on the floor. I turned around and saw the woman standing behind me with a huge, evil smile. "Seems like he likes you, dear." Saying this, she pointed at the entrance, and I saw that freaky man standing outside, obstructing my way. He chuckled and said, "Pizza! Pizza!" and lunged at me with a massive rock in his hand. He hit me on the cheek real hard, and I felt my jaw break. Blood and teeth sprung out of my mouth all together when the woman grabbed me from behind and started to strangle me. I kicked my hands in the air to free myself when I grabbed the woman's hair and pulled it with all my strength. A bunch of her curly hair along with a patch of bloody scalp came out. She screamed in terrible pain and set me free. I then kicked the man and he fell to the floor. I jumped and came out of the shop when I saw my two colleagues running towards me at full speed. They saw me struggling with this duo from the end of the street. We called the cops and guarded the exit until the cops came. There was no way I was letting these people go. The man remained to lie on the floor unconscious while the old woman kept cursing at me, walking back and forth like an injured wolf. When the cops came and arrested them, they gave us shocking news. This man and woman are husband and wife. They're both deranged criminals who were on the run for the last 8 months from the local asylum. They pulled off some robberies and assaults throughout the city after escaping prison. I stood there and watched the cops taking them away. Before getting inside the car, they both looked back at me and said, "Pizza! Pizza!"
Well, that was pleasant.
This has got to be one of the most intense clips on the net. A gym creep caught red-handed and put on blast to the general public. What came of this situation was nothing short of disturbing towards the confrontation with the creep on her cell phone. Here's a dramatized version animated by yours truly. I worked out frequently at my local gym called Planet Fitness. I'd like to call myself a seasoned...
I don't like it when girls do this. Okay, I go to school with girls who think they're the stuff they're not when they're showing all that skin just to get just to get attention out of guys.
Gym rat, as I had a habit of working out till I experienced hot flashes where I would see nothing but white for a split second. The gym was known for containing mostly females since it didn't have the same heavy-set equipment that another fitness center had, like LA Fitness. Though there were the occasional men that attended, which wasn't really a bad thing if they weren't looking at me during my workouts so damn often. One day, while I was doing my routine at the gym, I saw this man doing some warm-ups, his eyes fixated on me.
Why is this man's chin look like a baboon's butt?
How typical.
I thought to myself. I had encountered a...
Or maybe a baboon.
A lot of men before who used to flex their muscles at an angle where I could see them or converse with me, hoping they could get my number in the end. So I assumed this guy was just one of them, and I went on to do a series of drop setting, which required me to lift and drop weights about 20 times. Moments later, I could see from my peripheral vision that the man was no longer stretching, but staring dead at me. I was used to guys glancing at me every now and then, but there was something about this man's gaze that made me feel uneasy. So I decided to transfer to the other side, where I could no longer see him. However, when I transferred, it didn't take long for him to find me and continue oogling. When I turned my gaze towards him, he smiled and began waving his hand, revealing crusty yellow teeth. Thinking that he might come close if I waved back, I simply averted my gaze and approached an instructor, pretending to inquire about the sessions he offered. However, this man was adamant. He stood as he watched me converse with the fitness trainer, and when the coach noticed him, he, too, was creeped out, prompting him to step forward. Then, facing the creep, he asked, "Is there something you need, buddy?" His face began to sour, and after gritting his teeth in frustration, he shouted at the instructor, "You're interrupting my workout, Mr. Steroids!"
What?
Can't you see I'm trying to work out?
Steroids? Obviously, you must be the one on steroids if you really raging at this man right now.
How about you leave the young lady alone so we can all enjoy ourselves? I couldn't help but feel disgusted at his leave the young lady alone so we can all enjoy ourselves remark. Nonetheless, I immediately left and decided to transfer to another Planet Fitness location the following day. When I finally arrived at the new gym, it felt like a weight was lifted off my shoulders, and I'm not talking about dumbbells. I began to immediately lift weights freely without having to worry if some creep was eyeballing me. I felt like I was finally able to push myself to my max and began experiencing hot flashes that I attributed as my body telling me to take it easy. However, to my horror, I saw the same guy from a distance, staring right at me. I couldn't believe my eyes as I was literally convinced I had a psychotic stalker on my hands. Disgusted, I transferred to the other side of the gym, and somehow it was just like yesterday. However, this time there were no fitness trainer, and there were a lot.
Why is there a heartbeat in my
sit-ups
ear right
and
now,
yoga.
bro?
He did follow me as I anticipated, and he angled himself so that I was still in his line of sight. Then, moments later, when I gave my protein shake a jiggle, I saw the creep oogling me once more as he curled his fingers around those dumbbells. And even when I wasn't supposed to look, I couldn't help but notice all the mess he created from drooling and wetting his shorts. Even the women next to him moved to another area, apparently frightened. Bothered by this, I transferred once more. Luckily, this gym was much more spacious than the last one. However, moments later, as I was filling up my water bottle, I was startled at the sight of a man crouching next to the fountain, licking it passionately like he was a dehydrated dog, with his eyes in contact with mine.
Stop licking your lips at me, you freak!
I jolted in fear and threw the bottle at the creep, fleeing the area. Then, as I approached the elliptical machine, I noticed the man still following behind me, pissing me off. Moments later, while doing some squats, he came to the bench, and I could feel him pressing behind me. So I moved to another squat rack, where the freak followed me, pressing behind me once more. There was no way in hell I wanted to work my glutes and give this creep a front row seat.
What's your deal, huh?
I asked, infuriated, but instead of saying something in return, he chortled in a condescending way that pushed me to my limit.
Alright, that's it. I'm calling the cops on this one.
He grabbed my arm tightly and whispered, "Come on, don't..."
If he's smiling like that, all you gotta do, woman, is or pepper spray or something like that.
Ruin the fun. Just play along.
Let go of me!
Just play along.
Let go of me!
I scowled as I yanked my arm away from him. Okay, you win. No cops. I promise I'll leave. He turned his back and went in another direction. When the coast was clear, I went back to squatting, my mind finally at ease. However, just when I thought everything was smooth sailing from here, I saw a bright flash of light from the corner of my eyes, and a creep was there with a cell phone in his hands. When he noticed me glaring at him, he pretended to be talking to someone on the phone, and I completely lost it this time. I yelled amidst everyone in the gym, letting them know that there was a creep in our presence.
Were you just taking a photo of my butt, you creep?
The man's confidence diminished as the other women in the gym glanced at him with abhorrence.
Hey! Answer me when I'm talking to you!
In an attempt to save face, he replied, "What are you talking about? Don't be full of yourself, woman. I was talking to someone on the phone."
Don't you dare lie to me, you pervert. I saw that camera flash on your phone.
I grabbed his phone.
Maybe if you didn't show all of this and this, he wouldn't be a creep. Maybe if you covered up all that skin, you wouldn't be in this situation.
And started browsing through his gallery, which contained candid photos.
Because a lot of guys be acting this way. And ladies, we don't claim boys like this. We claim men as like they're respectful, they're gentlemen, they're raised like. We don't claim boys like that.
Photos of different women working out in the gym. Then, among the latest images were pictures of myself, squatting.
Delete these photos right now. Do you understand me? right now.
I exclaimed as I pushed him frantically.
Okay, I'm doing it. Sheesh, so sensitive.
Show me you've deleted all of them. Show me.
He displayed an empty gallery, cussing me for being a killjoy, and finally left the gym. I cried as some of the other women approached me to offer some comfort. But what really bothers me was how my hot flashes were probably just flashes from that creep's cell phone the whole time. And I can bench press 5 plates, but...
Alright, you guys. Well, that was, something from Animated Wednesday. Speaking of the gym, I'm finna actually go to the gym because I have some muscle to gain. And no, I ain't talking about these gyms that are needing to need memberships, but like I'm talking about combat wise. But other than that, I'll see y'all at the next week's Animated Wednesday.